Hey there, it's Jenna from the Intern Hustle. If you've followed me for a while, then you'll know I love to talk about informational interviews. And if you're new here, then I love to talk about informational interviews. It doesn't matter if I'm leading a workshop for students on an entirely different topic. I will still find a way to stress the importance of informational interviews and how foundational they can be for your career. And with that said, this video is all about informational interview tips for success. How can you make sure that you're making the most out of each and every informational interview that you do? I have a roundup of advice for you. Hit that like button if you are interested in having great informational interviews that lead to a stronger network and new opportunities. And don't forget to subscribe for new videos every single week on this channel. Hey there, I'm Jenna Ryan from the internhustle.com, and this is Initiative Muscle Monday, helping you to start each week with an intentional step toward a successful future. Let's do this. Before I jump into the tips for this video, I want to point out my video on how to reach out for an informational interview. In it, I share tips on how to reach out and connect with people, but more importantly, how to get them to say yes to the informational interview with you. So if you need some help with that, go watch that video next. As you reach out to people, understand that you won't hear back from everyone and you're gonna hear no sometimes. Don't take it personally. Everyone is busy and you don't know what else that they need to prioritize at that moment. Keep in mind that informational interviews don't need to be a big production where you're meeting in person. If that's an option and it's easy to grab coffee with them somewhere, then sure, go for it. But these days, a phone call or a quick virtual coffee chat over Zoom are a great way to get more informational interviews under your belt. So maybe it's a no to an in-person meeting, but could they do an informational interview with you over the phone instead? You never know until you ask. No matter what type of informational interview you line up, when you do get someone to say yes to you, do not cancel or ask to reschedule. Keep your commitments. Line up an informational interview or two or three or as many as you possibly can, because informational interviews are some of the best tools in your what the heck am I supposed to do with my life career toolkit. And once you have the informational interview on your calendar, get ready to take some notes on all of the tips in this video so that you're ready to make the most of them. All right, let's start with what you should talk about in an informational interview to make it a good use of everyone's time. Kick off the conversation by giving them a little bit of context. So who are you and why are you interested in speaking with them? Now, it's important to start here with a little bit of context for the person that you're speaking with. But keep in mind that an informational interview is your opportunity to interview this professional and learn about them, their career journey, their lessons learned, their role, their industry. So don't come at them with a long-winded introduction of your entire life story that includes the name of your childhood dog and your favorite ice cream flavor. Briefly introduce yourself and why you're excited to be chatting with them, and then get into the questions that you've prepared for them. Which leads me to my next informational interview tip. Get the person talking. Everyone likes to talk about themselves, even if they say they don't. It's just natural. People also like to give advice. So do your research ahead of time and ask them thoughtful questions. Dig deeper for their advice on points that grab your interest and take notes. I have an entire video with some of my favorite questions to ask people in an informational interview. I've linked to it below and I encourage you to watch it as part of your informational interview prep. Let the conversation flow and don't worry about going off script. If they're openly sharing something with you that they're passionate about, then ask follow-up questions and engage them further. You can always come back to your list of questions at the end of the conversation or in a follow-up conversation or an email that you end up sending. If you're wondering if it's appropriate to ask about internship opportunities with their company at the end of an informational interview, only you will really know based upon how the conversation's been going. So take it on a case-by-case basis. You don't want them to feel like you're using them to just get to the internship. If they bring it up, well then great, there's your opening. Otherwise, you can always say something along the lines of, one of my goals this year is to secure an internship. Do you have any suggestions for how I can increase my chances of landing an internship with your company or within the industry? That way, you aren't outright asking them for an internship and putting them on the spot, but you are letting them know that it's something that you're focused on. At the very least, you've made them aware that you are interested, and they may think of you when internship opportunities pop up on their radar in the future. The next informational interview tip is really more of an action that you must take following every informational interview that you have. And that is sending a thank you to the person that you've met with. Send an email thanking them for their time. Include a detail from your conversation that you really appreciated learning about, and let them know that you'd love to stay in touch. Don't wait to send this thank you. Make sure that you send it within 24 hours of your informational interview, but the sooner, the better. And my final tip is to actually stay in touch with the people that you connect with for informational interviews. They're a part of your network now, and a part of building authentic relationships with people is to stay in touch on a regular basis and add value when you can. And adding value doesn't have to be a big reach for you. Simple things like sharing an article that you come across that's relevant to their work, introducing someone to them who could be a great fit for their team, or just shooting them a quick note to wish them happy holidays. Find ways to stay in touch without asking more of them. You never know what opportunities may pop up in the future, and if you're top of mind with them because you've been keeping in touch, then you may just be the first person that they reach out to. One easy way to stay in touch is connecting with them on LinkedIn. After every informational interview that you do, send the person a LinkedIn connection request. Don't miss out on this opportunity to expand your professional network online as well. If you follow these tips and watch my other videos on informational interviews, you'll be a pro at them in no time. Don't forget to grab my guide on how to reach out for an informational interview at the link in the description below. Thanks for watching. If this video gave you some new insights today, please give it a like and share it with a friend or two. Hit that red subscribe button below so that you don't miss out on future videos. In support of your hustle, I'm Jenna from theinternhustle.com, and I'll see you next Monday.